morning, everyone, and welcome to the Congregational Church of Littleton's Facebook page. So glad to have you here. No matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you are always welcome here. So tonight's reading from our Jesus Storybook Bible is 10 Ways to be Perfect. Moses and the 10 Commandments from Exodus 16 to 17, 19 to 40. Here we go. So there they all were. Grannies, granddads, babies, uncles, aunts, children, moms, and dads. Out there in the middle of the desert. They had blisters from all the walking. They were hungry and thirsty, and much, much too hot. "We don't like it," they said. "It stinks." And so did they, for that matter, because no one had taken a bath in weeks. Now remember, because this is something they'd forgotten, God had done an amazing things for his people. He'd hidden them inside a cloud. He'd moved the sea. He set them free. But God's people still weren't happy. They didn't care about being free. Wasn't it better when they were slaves? At least they'd had lots of nice food to eat. "God doesn't want us to be happy," they said. It was the same lie that Adam and Eve had heard all those years before. "God has brought us out here to kill us. God doesn't love us." But they didn't know God very well, did they? Every day of their journey, God kept on showing his people how well he would look after them if they would trust him and obey him. When they were hungry, God made the sky rain with food, bread coming down from heaven. "What is it?" they asked each other. They didn't know, so they called it, "What is it?" Which, of course, is a very good name for something when you don't know what it is. When they were thirsty and started quarreling, God made water flow from a rock. Moses called that place Quarreling, because that seemed like a good name too. And still, God's children didn't trust him or do what he said. They thought they could do a better job of looking after themselves and making themselves happy. But God knew there was no such thing as happiness without him. So God led them to a tall mountain. God wanted to talk to his people and show them what he was like. He wanted to help them know him better and tell them about special land he was going to give them. "The whole earth belongs to me," God said, "but I have chosen you. You are my special family. I want you to live in a way that shows everyone else what I'm like, so that you can know me too." God called Moses up the mountain. The great mountain shook, a thick cloud fell, thunder roared, lightning crackled, and God gave Moses 10 rules called commandments. "I want you to love me more than anything else in the world, and know that I love you too," God told them. "That is the most important thing of all." God gave them other rules, like don't make yourselves pretend gods, and don't kill people or steal or lie. The rules showed God's people how to live and how to be close to him and how to be happy. They showed how life worked best. "God promises to always look after you," Moses said. "Will you love him and keep these rules?" "We can do it. Yes, we promise." But they were wrong. They couldn't do it. No matter how hard they tried, they could never keep God's rules all the time. God knew they couldn't, and he wanted them to know it too. Only one person could keep all the rules, and many years later God would send him to stand in their place and be perfect for them, because the rules couldn't save them. Only God could save them. That is the end of our story. So that is the story of when we had the 10 Commandments. Could you imagine being in the desert, hot, hungry, thirsty, not knowing where your food or drink were going to come from? And then you had to trust in somebody, right? You had to trust in God. But that was kind of hard. It was kind of a hard thing to do, to trust in him. But they had to do that in order to be happy, to know that he will always be there for them. He sent them food when they were hungry. He sent them water when they were thirsty. He was there for them all the time. And so that they could follow him, he got them up on the mountain and he talked to them and told them how he was there for them. And then he sent those rules down to Moses, and the rules on how to love each other and how to stay good to each other and how to be kind. Those were all great rules for everybody to follow. It's the rules of how to be good people and how to be happy. I wonder what life would be like if we didn't have rules, right? If we could just do whatever we wanted to do all of the time, and there were no rules at all. Let's think about that for a minute. What would that be like? Not knowing what a good choice was going to be and what a not such a good choice was going to be. I wonder how that would feel. I think it's great we have rules. It helps us. It helps us to remember who we are. It helps us to remember and it helps us make good decisions. It helps us to remember to be kind with one another, to take care of each other, right? And it also helps us, in the commandments, help us to remember that God is always there for us. No matter what, God is there. He's by us all the time, and he will be there to provide for us. So, think about that this week, what that would be like if there were no rules at all. And I wonder if the world would be chaotic or peaceful. I wonder which way it would go. Wonder about that. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. So that is the end of our time with each other today. Don't forget that we have our Faithful Fridays on Zoom. So if you need a link and not there, come and ask me for it, and I'll make sure that everybody has a link where we can read a story and connect to the Bible and draw a picture together. It's lots of fun. All right, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.